Wow.
Yeah, it was a little rough, huh? Thank goodness we don't have any, like world famous bagpiping instructors or tutors on the line. That would be bad if they heard that.
That'd be horrible if they heard that version of that tune.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh. This is the Chanter Rant podcast. It is the world's worst bagpiping podcast. It's proven by science, as a matter of fact. We have the numbers to back that up.
We do. Statistics show that we are the worst.
That we are the worst.
Absolutely.
Right ahead of, I guess, Grace Note Vortex, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only ones worse than us.
Right.
Yeah, on their quarterly show.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm Josh. With me, as always, is my handsome co-host, Andy.
That's me.
And we just want to let everybody know, because of our special guest today, in case you're new tuning into the Chanter Rant podcast, that this is an explicit show with adult themes, bad language, poor opinions, terrible banter, and really all the things that you don't want. So if you have sensitive ears, this is your chance to turn away.
And trust us. You do not want to listen to this.
Go listen to something else, and I'll give you 5 seconds to do so. That'll be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck! Oh. Fantastic. Hey.
Hold on. I'm getting a text message from the PMRC right now. They're trying to shut us down.
They're trying to shut us down already? Hey, Fusco.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know what really itches my bell end?
What's that, Josh?
It's really, I think, what could be considered the American piping problem. The way competitions are set, the way judging criteria is made. I don't know that we're getting it right. I don't know who is getting it right, but luckily we have someone on today that I think will help us hash this out. We are going to fix all of bagpipes in America in 1 hour,
1 hour or less
on this show right now.
So listen up, people. We're going to fix it. Well, somebody's going to fix it.
Now's a good time to welcome our very special guest, Mr. Andrew Douglas of the Piper's Dojo. Yay!
Are you there,
What's
Andrew?
up, guys?
Coming to us live from the Dojo U studios inside of a Toyota Camry.
Yes, he sounds very good.
Yes, it's my mobile studio.
Perfect.
This episode brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, go there.
Is that
I don't know. I haven't seen a Toyota commercial in a while. I'm not sure if that's their slogan or not.
right? I don't know either. I thought our
It's
show
a
was
good
brought.
slogan.
Yeah. So Toyota, I'm giving you that one for free. You're welcome, you ungrateful cunts.
I thought the show was brought to you by ChanterRant.com.
Oh, yeah. Chanterrant.com, the world's second worst Chanter Rant related t-shirt store. So before we get into everything, I just want to let everybody know you can review the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, MySpace, Fusco's Grinder. You can send us emails, chanterrant@gmail.com. We're on a bit of a time crunch today with Mr. Douglas, so we won't be playing any voicemails today, but if you have some for us, we'll play them soon. You can send us recorded messages. I already said that. You can like us on Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter @Chanter Rant. And, of course, check out the merch at chanterrant.com. You can get a nice brand spanking new F.U. Joe Brady shirt.
Yeah, those ones are selling like hotcakes. They're very popular.
Yeah, they're more popular than Joe Brady.
We're going to run out of those soon.
Yeah, we're going to run out any day now. That's going to be a limited edition item. So if you want your F.U. Joe Brady shirt, you might want to get it soon. All right.
Andrew, did you get your F.U. Joe Brady shirt yet?
I haven't, but I'm on the train. I'm not one of the 6, but I'm pretty sure I'm the 7th.
Perfect. We may have to change our hashtag because everybody keeps wanting.
Everybody
to be the
keeps saying they're the 7th or the hateful 8th. That was one I saw.
Yeah.
You're all 6.
You're all 6 in my eyes.
Yeah, you're all 6 in our eyes. So we can only keep track of 6. We can keep track of 6 fan names at a time. That's it.
That's what our brains can handle. So I do want to put out a disclaimer, Josh, today. Just before we get into Andrew's discussion here, and I do want to say that in case our audience notices that I'm a little bit easier on Andrew than I might be any other guest, I do want to state up front that
you're gay lovers.
That I do kind of work for him. So
as a sex slave.
Exactly. So I might be nicer to him than I might be any other guest. So just a heads up. I might not. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the beer goes down. But
I'm going to tear him a fucking new asshole.
Perfect.
So, yeah,
as long as one of us is honest.
as a former dojo employee.
Exactly. So
you're still status unknown. We never really.
Yeah. No, I'm on the sabbatical right now. I think technically.
Josh got all set up. He was doing amazing work, and then he was like, "Hey, by the way, I got a new job today."
So you'll never hear from me again.
Hey, I turned in everything that I had on my plate. It was all sexy.
Yeah, you still have to bill me for that.
I do, but not until I tear you new asshole on the show, and then I'll bill you. So it may affect my rate, but that's okay. Speaking of shameless promotion for Dojo U and the work I was doing over there, if you do not go check out the Piper's Dojo YouTube channel, and especially the vlog section, which I think a lot of those are really cool, and I hope you're filming more of those on your trips this summer.
I'm totally not doing that. It's like either film a vlog or be good enough to make the band. So.
Yeah, I've experienced that before.
Exactly. So wait, are you telling me it's actually there's a question mark on whether you make the band on any given day, or I just assume you're kind of automatic? I mean, you're front row, for God's sakes.
I thought that's why you donated your kidney to Stuart Little.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was all the drinking, and he needed a kidney. But it's always a question, man. It's all or it's never a sure thing. And I think certainly a nice American person like myself always wants to assume I'm amazing. But I'd hate to get that wrong, because I love playing in the band and I want to be part of what's going on. So yeah, it's like, Josh, you know as well as anybody, like the vlogs are amazing and filming it is super fun. And then there's the edit,
Oh yeah.
And to do a good job on the edit is either a lot of money, and your editors always run off and get new jobs, or when you do it yourself, it's a solid 2 hours, So during the winter, it's like super fun and usually a great way to kill some time. Have a nice, romantic edit with yourself, late at night. But during the summer, it just gets crazy. And so it's hard to do. It's really hard, which is too bad because that's when the stuff happens, I think, that people actually want to see. But
right, sure.
I think so we all just need to have our own personal videographers that follow us around.
Yeah.
It's what every traveling piper needs,
We could afford to hire one, Josh, if people would buy more T-shirts from us.
Yeah, fucking A. Chanter Rant videographer.
Or buy a Piper's Dojo T-shirt, go to their website and buy shirts from Andrew, and then he can afford to hire his own videographer and provide amazing content for you.
Yeah, you get the vlogs back, you cheap bastards.
The vlog will definitely be back, just back when it gets really boring and there's nothing to film.
Right, back in Rensselaer, New York, across the river or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, so real quick. I mean, we could do news updates, but we're in a time portal right now. So,
So are we in the future or the past right now?
We're in the future right now.
Right, okay.
Because the Flagstaff episode that we did last week has already come out. I say with big air quotes.
Right.
So anyway, Flagstaff was great.
It was an amazing, fun time.
Thank you to everybody that showed up for the Chanter Rant podcast live from the beer tent. That was fun.
Yeah, and all those people that came to the meetup, too. They were awesome.
Yeah, and all those chicks that flashed us their boobs. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. So maybe
I had so much fun, I almost don't remember.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for next year.
So I kind of want to, I don't know where Mr. Douglas wants to start on this topic. I kind of want to pass it over to him.
I don't know. You guys have to lead me. I don't know where I want to start.
I have an idea how to lead this. Can at least get us into it.
Can lead a Douglas to a Toyota Camry, but you can't make him drink. Okay, so with today's topic, I was going to ladder it over to Andrew Douglas, but you might be able to lead. Can you drive the bus here a little bit? I know you guys were talking kind of offline about this.
I can't. Well, Andrew and I talk very often about the problem with American pipe bands. So, and there seems to be many. Well, there's many, but it seems. But as the pipe major of a lower level pipe band that has a relatively consistent experience with most grade 4 bands and whatnot, and probably the same for threes as well. But it seems to be that over here we're doing something that's not the same as over there. Meaning, when we went over there last year, it seems like the levels and the consistency of playing and all that sort of stuff was much higher than it is here, and I don't know why that is. So I figure, well, we have Andrew here, who's a professional piper in every sense of the word, and I'm curious, do you have any opinions on that? What's different here? What's different here versus there that makes or what do we struggle with here? What are we doing wrong that we're not competing over there as well as we could, I think?
So by over there, you mean like the UK?
UK in general, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I've been around at this point. You know, I've been very blessed to like have experienced a lot of different bagpiping communities, you might say. And I think that's the thing, right? The thing is the community. So when I was I guess 13 or so, I went to St. Andrews College in Ontario, where Jim McGillivray runs the piping program there. So I spent like 5 years up in Ontario, like learning from Jim McGillivray. And I wouldn't say I was heavily involved in the scene there, because I would still come home to New York for the summer, and I'd play with Orrin Moore and stuff like that. And then when I graduated high school, I moved to Vancouver, and I literally lived with Jack Lee for a couple of summers and got involved with the SFU pipe band. And then, of course, I've also, especially now, spent a lot of time in the UK. And, you know, what all these really major communities have in common is, you know, the fact that they are very major, big communities that are fairly tightly knit geographically. And they have a legacy of, you know, loving the bagpipes. And,
okay.
And then the UK, especially right now, is just on fire with all the kids programs. And if you think it's good now, wait till you see it in 10 years. It's going to be out of control. And I think it's frustrating because in the USA, we're just not we're not even on that same wavelength, right? Like, I think there's too many big fish that love their tiny little ponds, and we seem to be sort of in a big stalemate there, you know, where not a whole lot is moving forward, and it's too bad. It's sort of my mission, and a little bit of my obsession is, you know, to try and figure out how to solve that problem, because I'd like to see some sort of scene in the USA or in parts of the USA that are really relevant on the world scene. And I think what I mean by that, just to clarify, is just as far as high level of play and having a voice in the future of the instrument a little bit.
So would you chalk it up to, there's 2 things you said that stood out to me. 1, ego, and 2, geographics. Is it one or the other? A little of both? Is there more to it than that? It seems like it's, you know, you're hinting at, like, you know, people can't come together to make it work. Is that kind of what you're saying as far as?
It's not that they can't. I just don't know how.
Choose not to, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of choosing not to that goes on, and it's a hard thing, right? It's a hard thing to not choose that. You know, when you have an okay thing going on that's yours, it's really hard to give that up for the sake of doing something better. It's a really hard thing to do.
Okay.
I've tried to put my money where my mouth is there, you know, in my career, and tried to do that. And it's very, very difficult. I don't think you can really blame anybody, but that's the problem that I think we have to figure out how to solve is, you know, how do we build, you know, for me, it's more about just trying to build the super community. I think, I mean, even on your show, right? It's like, how do we make our band better? How do we make our band better?
Mm-hmm.
I think to me, it's like, I get it. You want to make your band really good, but I think I have a hunch we're asking the wrong questions. And the question we really need to ask first is like, how do we get together as a community of people that really like bagpipes and make that something that actually sticks? Because, that's the thing. For example, in Albany, there's how many bands do you think there are? 10 bands, maybe less now. But like, there's never a social night or a Kaylee or a P-Brock club or anything, right? Like, everybody's in their own little tiny pond, mm-hmm. insisting that their way is the way.
Well, and it's also, it's also more of a cultural thing over there. Like, everybody's into piping and drumming, and the people that are into it all interact with each other a lot.
In the UK, you mean?
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have that here.
Absolutely.
The most interaction we get is like in our comment section on Chanter Rant.
So why are pipe bands enemies in the US? Why does it turn into that? How does that happen?
It's population. It's population and population density, right? So in the UK, right? Like right now, let's talk about pipe bands, not so much solos, right?
Sure.
But in the pipe band scene in the UK, like I'm just speculating here, but if there's 214 bands that are going to play at the Worlds, probably 150 of them are from the UK.
Right.
Right. So, anybody got a calculator? Like what's 150 times, an average of 25 people?
There you go.
7 million, and I don't know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Like just picture that. Picture how many people that is. And so like the super motivated, super talented cream rises to the top, and then everybody sort of like fits in somewhere there naturally and organically because you have that critical mass. Right? Like how many pipers and drummers are floating around the immediate Las Vegas area within driving distance of a weekly practice?
2.
50 maybe.
Yeah, maybe 50 people.
Maybe not. Maybe it's more like 35 or something.
Yeah. Like barely enough for one band. And that would be in the situation where, everybody was at the exact same like state of motivation and interest and ability level.
Right.
And so like, that's a challenge. I don't know how to solve that. In Albany, where I ultimately settled, I moved to this area, to get back involved with the Oran Moore Pipe Band in 2008. But in this area, there's probably more than that. There's probably within driving distance of Albany, like within let's say a 90-minute radius, there's probably 250 people that play bagpipes.
Okay.
So, and that's probably, maybe it's more, but that's sort of the thing, right? And at times it's ballooned out a little bit. I think right now it certainly feels the smallest and most meager that it's been, in this area. But that makes it slightly easier to develop slightly higher level bands because you have that focused population of people that can actually get together and do stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, that's the challenge. I mean, the UK, probably including Ireland, is only a little bit bigger than New York State. And it probably, I'm speculating, but probably, and then if you, I meant Scotland. I meant Scotland and Ireland are probably roughly the size of New York State. And then in Scotland, I'll take a stab that 80% of the population is in that Glasgow, Edinburgh, Stirling corridor, right? So that's so many pipers in one space.
Sure. So the fact that we're so spread apart in the U.S., well, I guess, how can we look at Canada as a model? Because they have something similar. They're a big-ass country. I mean, granted, there's a lot of people in Vancouver, obviously, but Nova Scotia cannot be that big of a population, and they're still pretty successful. So what's different about Canada to us that makes them, or even Australia? Look at Australia, for Christ's sakes.
So
New Zealand.
So let's take Nova Scotia out for a second, right? We'll talk about that in a second. Toronto is a huge metropolitan area, populated heavily by immigrants from Scotland and Ireland, right? So, I think there's been a foundation of a community there for a long time. There certainly have been some absolutely legendary pipers who have ended up in that area. Mm-hmm. And then they, there's a lot of them who have a great time playing bagpipes, and they've built that community and sustained it well, for a long time. And then Vancouver is the same way. Vancouver is a highly focused, area with quite a few people who have executed at a very high level. Obviously, Jack and Terry Lee come to mind, but there's also the Triumph Street pipe band, like from the old days, and there's the
the new one's total shit.
Well, no, it's not. I mean,
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Right? We have Andrew Douglas on record saying that the new Dalco Triumph Street band sucks a bag of dicks.
That's funny. That's funny, you dick. Where I was going with that was, before there was the SFU and the Triumph Street, two powerhouse grade 1 bands, from North America that qualify for the final on a regular basis. But before that, there was a whole nother generation of great bands. And we would, I think we would know more about that. It's just, they were great at the time that, Strathclyde Police was dominating. But there's like little nuggets of information you pick up on every now and then, like, Strathclyde Police always won, but sometimes there were these bands from BC that were like winning the piping or winning the drumming. Triumph Street won the Worlds in drumming a long time ago. And so I guess my only point is there's long lasting legacies of big communities here.
That's a good point.
So,
and then just to go over to Nova Scotia, right? That seems to be like not a huge metropolitan area, right? But remember, like Nova Scotia, that's where everybody landed during the clearances, right? And all that sort of fun Scottish history. So like that's where Gaelic people went, was to Nova Scotia, and so they might be. You could easily make the argument that's the richest community and the most vibrant musical community pertaining to Gaelic music that there is, because it's so like deeply connected to facts.
The homeland.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
To like, that's like the heavy duty history, man. Like people had to leave their homeland and like a huge focused group of them ended up in Nova Scotia and rebuilt like community. And I'm sorry for totally ruining, for anybody who actually knows their history, I'm sorry for totally ruining that. But,
our listeners do not know anything.
They don't know anything.
They're a bunch of drunk idiots.
Well, that's definitely like, I definitely want to pick up on some ideas of, one, I think there's a very interesting conversation to be had about the population difference when we talk about, the issues facing American bands. And I mean, especially obviously being selfish, we're going to talk about what we face here in sunny Las Vegas. But before we do that, we are going to go to a quick message from this episode's sponsors.
Oh, this episode of the Chanter Rant podcast brought to you by the Chanter Rant store. Buy all your great Chanter Rant gear and t-shirts and even tank tops for the ladies. It's a hot one out there, this World Pipe Band competition, so don't forget to head to chanterrant.com and buy yours today.
Pride. Dedication. Bagpipes. PipersDojo.com. Feel the dojo.
Good.
All right, perfect. So we got the ads done.
Brilliant. All right. So
he couldn't hear the music.
He couldn't hear the music.
He has no idea what I'm doing.
Hears you doing that stupid thing. So let me go back to the notes. All right. So
and we are back on.
Definitely, even without the music, I have an erection. So.
Perfect.
All right. So you want to come back in?
Yep.
Off the commercials.
Off the commercials. All right.
Go ahead.
So before the break, we were talking. Andrew was talking at length, Andrew Douglas, about the population differences, some of the saturation of pipers and drummers, and even just on the East Coast versus over here. And while he was talking about that, I actually took the time to look up some numbers. And I know our audience is not a big fan of numbers because they can't even count how many drinks they've had in an evening, much less past 10. Essentially,
apparently they can't count past 6.
Can't count past 6. Yeah, obviously. But I was looking at it, and so I guess, to make us feel better about what seems like our player drought here, specifically in Las Vegas, the state of Nevada that we live in, I don't know if for our international listeners, Nevada's a state that Las Vegas is in. It's a big desert.
It's next to California.
It's in between the gays and the Mormons, like, essentially. And Nevada, the state of Nevada is 1.17 times bigger than the entire United Kingdom.
Okay.
Just land mass.
Land mass, gotcha.
Land mass. The UK population is 65 million people, give or take.
Yep.
And the population of Nevada is 2.9 million people. I'm sorry, of Las Vegas. No.
That's gotta be Nevada.
That'd be Nevada. All of Nevada is about 2.9 million people.
Okay.
So I guess we're a lot farther apart here.
Well, doesn't New York City have like 30 million people? Is that correct, Andrew? Something like that?
I don't know. I don't associate with those city people.
Yeah.
So
New
York City, it says 8.5 million in 2016.
Okay.
So it's 2 years old numbers, but
I'm just kidding. I love everyone from the city.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, as we mentioned on the last podcast or a couple podcasts ago, it's just that's what everybody thinks of when they think of New York. It's not downstate New York.
Listen, I talked to a lot of people and they asked me where I'm from.
Hicks.
No. When people ask me where I'm from, I specifically have to say upstate New York, or they will assume New York City. Even when I say that, they still assume New York City. It's different, people. It's different.
Yeah. New York City, hip, urban, lots of people, art, culture. Upstate New York, people married to their cousins and shit.
Exactly correct.
Yeah.
So back to the question.
So what was your point?
My point there is like realistically, if nothing else, assuming all other factors are equal,
which they aren't,
they're not based on culture, but even assuming all that shit goes away, just the sheer number of fucking people all crowded together in that little place would make more bands.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't help us with the American piping problem.
Okay, so let me just throw this out at you, because this is curious. So New Zealand, we know, has a very good bagpiping culture, right? They have how many grade 1 bands? 3?
3 that I can think of.
Andrew, would you know? Is there 3 or 4? I believe there's 3. But
good grade 1 bands, you mean?
Just grade 1 bands in general. But
yeah, I don't know, but it's a big number.
Yeah, and they have total population of the entire country is 4.6 million people.
Yeah, but there's fuck all to do in New Zealand.
That's true. So what is the big factor difference? That's what I'm curious about.
Here, I'll tell you what it is. I can tell you what it is.
What's the difference?
Australia and New Zealand, isn't that where they sent all of the bagpipers that were bad?
Yeah, they sent all of the bagpiping criminals went to Australia, and the ones that wanted to escape from the giant man-eating spiders swum over to New Zealand.
But isn't that where the bad piper comes from? Australia? The guy with the flaming bagpipes that does that horrible AC/DC rendition?
Piece of shit.
So when you say bad pipers, Andrew, you mean literally bad pipers were sent to Australia?
Like that's where they sent the prisoners and stuff. I mean...
So why are they good at pipes, though? That's
one of these days we're going to read a headline where it's like, man blows arm off with flaming bagpipes. And I don't know if I'm going to hope it's him more or fucking Randall. I'm not sure who I want to get their arm blown off first.
Definitely Randall. The Las Vegas guy that's apparently a big deal on the internet right now.
Just got deported.
The kid that got deported. Did you guys hear
I know that guy. That guy, he and I are tight. He thinks that Fusco's in bed with the mob.
Oh, yeah. You've got a great story about this. He wrote to you about me, complaining about me, didn't he?
Oh my God. I wish if we get another pause, I'll dig it up. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while you're digging that up, I will tell my story. Because I had a good story when I first met this fucking knob.
This kid is a knob.
So
guaranteed.
I fucking meet this guy, and I meet him at the Las Vegas Highland Games, which, for those of you playing along at home, I frequent from time to time. And I'm driving around with the lady I was with at the time in my golf cart, doing my directory things, getting shit done.
Mm-hmm.
And
emptying trash.
Yeah, emptying trash usually. And this motherfucker walks up to me, and I'd never met the guy before. So I'm like, who the fuck is this guy walking up to me wearing my band's fucking kilt, mind you?
Right.
Like he's all in the blues.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, hey. Turns to my girlfriend at the time who's in the cart with me. He's like, can I get your number? And I was like, lean out. I'm like, you most certainly fucking cannot. You weirdo.
And this kid, he was 25 at the time.
Yeah.
He acts like a kid.
Mike, I'm like, no, you cannot.
He's one of those people.
Fucking psycho.
He's one of those people with his eyes a little too close together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've gotten into it with this kid a couple times.
Yes, you have.
Oh, he's a special boy.
Yeah.
Ryan Randall. Oh yeah,
That's
man.
him. You found it?
Found it.
Yeah.
You should definitely read that.
Like I don't remember.
They deported him from a country. I almost had to inject him from the fucking games for trying to start a fight with somebody. And I'm like, well, what did the guy look like? And he's like, he's wearing a big stupid fucking pith helmet and had a GoPro on his chest. I was like, I know who it is.
Yep. He's the one kid that showed up to a games with a pith helmet.
With a fucking pith helmet and a GoPro on.
Yep. That sounds like him. Also a street performer in Las Vegas. It still is, as far as I know. But anyway, Andrew, did you find it?
I don't remember the context, and this is not the only message I got from this guy. So I suppose to give a little bit of generic background, like we do a lot of stuff on Facebook with the Dojo, and needless to say, the crazies come out to play on bagpipe posts, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've received that.
Yeah, we've been there.
And so anyway, like something about so the previous message, I'm pretty sure it's from him. I can only see it because I sent this screenshot to you, Fusco, when he sent it to me. Mm-hmm. Like, so the previous message is something about being pipers because it's not real army and we are all there as volunteers. I think that pipe majors should be suspended by WUSPBA. And then whatever. And then this is the good part. Andy Fusco. I'm just reading. I have not screened this. So
no, read it. I don't care.
Yeah, just go for it.
Andy Fusco from the Las Vegas Pipe Band should be suspended by WUSPBA. He also has an agreement with the city to not allow any other pipe band to even exist in Vegas. That's why they're called Las Vegas's premier pipe band. The Italian Mafia, this gets better. The Italian Mafia still runs Vegas, and the fire chief, Eric, I won't finish his name.
That's fine.
But, and the fire chief, I know Eric because when I was there,
he plays in the band with us as well.
Oh, and you know about his deep mob connections.
Yeah, and are all working together in a conspiracy together so that there will be only one pipe band. America is a place for equal opportunity, but not in Vegas. The casinos are the only ones who pay taxes in the state, and the state is where the cops get their paychecks. So the cops work for the... and then the screenshot gets cut off from there.
Oh, shit, Fusco, he found us out.
Yeah, he figured it out, man.
He's on to us.
Yes, I know the mayor personally, and I told her to put a stop to all of the pipe bands except ours. You know, in the Italian,
that makes sense.
My last name is Italian, so that does all make sense.
Yeah, no, it all comes together.
This kid used to say,
he
used to think that the cops had it out for him specifically. Like they had, I don't know what you call it, like a contract out for him. Because he's a street performer, and there's lots of street performers that cause lots of issues in Vegas.
Huge
and they would just harass the shit out of him. But he's the type of kid.
He was always playing where you weren't supposed to.
He would always go where you're supposed to be. He'd
performing.
play inside a casino, and you do not do that.
No, they will fuck you up.
They will tackle you. Like, you don't do that unless you have permission. And he would just do whatever he wanted. He just didn't care. And he thought like it was like a conspiracy.
Man, every time I break the law, these fucking cops are right. They're just on my ass.
Dude,
what is going on?
It does not surprise me at all that he got deported, because he's probably standing there like, what do you mean? I have a right to work.
Dude, like, the best thing is the best thing is if they could have deported him on a boat and then halfway back home just sunk the fucking thing. Then he would have had to send fucking Andrew Douglas a text message about how the goddamn ocean's conspiring against his lungs.
Oh, it's classic. I love that kid.
Yeah,
not really.
Fuck. I love him so much. I just want to squeeze him to death.
Well, thanks for sharing. I appreciate you looking that up. That's
dude. Yeah, what a. I think did I have that on the show?
That was a classic.
Yeah, I mean that guy's just what a fucking tool.
So, I have a question for you, Andrew.
We got way off track.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
It happens.
But that was a good one. That was a good tangent.
So okay, let's say we started over. Let's just say a nuclear bomb. Trump sets off a nuclear bomb and it blows up all the associations. Let's just assume that.
It only targets
associations.
Everybody else is fine.
And we had to start over, right? From pipe band wise and whatnot. What would it look like, in your opinion, to set up a new system to create value for the competitors in a pipe band and or soloist situation? Let's assume we could start from scratch if we could.
I don't know, man. Like, that's a difficult question to answer, but I think where my mind goes with that is like, we got to stop making systems. Like I'm sure there was a time when, forming a pipe band association was definitely the best thing to do, but I just don't see I see it causing more, I see it causing more issues than benefits in so many ways, especially now, especially where we are. And just to sort of caveat that, I don't think there's anybody involved. I don't think there's I won't say that. I think there are very few people involved in the USPBA that don't honestly have the best intentions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that want to see piping be the best it can be. But it's just a mess, right? And even in the really functional pipe band associations, I think that's the case. It's a government like any other government. It's very slow moving and there are people involved and it's difficult, especially in hobby related governments. It's difficult not to offend people, and it's difficult to deal with everybody's different egos and objectives and agendas. And so I don't know, I'll give a question back to you, which would be, what do we need associations for?
You're asking us?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't need them at all.
We would argue that we don't.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's no coincidence. And I mean this, I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I'm sure it'll be interpreted that way by some people.
Well, we have a lot of sensitive people involved in a lot of these groups.
They are artists after all. Yeah.
But to me, it's no coincidence that by far the biggest, most significant, most impactful event for solo piping in North America is an unsanctioned event. It's not sanctioned by any association.
Which one is that?
Can you guess which one I'm referring to?
I cannot.
The biggest one in the U.S. or the North America, did you say?
In North America. Biggest, most significant solo piping and drumming competition.
Solo, you said?
Yeah.
Is it the Metro Cup?
No,
no. Go with Winter Storm, maybe?
Winter Storm, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hundreds of people. There's what was it, 55 people in the professional light music at Winter Storm?
Yeah. Okay.
These are people getting on an airplane to fly somewhere to compete in North America. It's totally wild. It's wildly successful, and it's totally unsanctioned. It's just a group of people that were like, why don't we get a bunch of amazing world champions together and have them judge some competitions and teach some workshops? That's amazing. And just to tie it back to the community theme, right? Over the years, people go back to Winter Storm because there's this little pop-up community that happens every year. Super fun. People have drinks and frivolities together, but they're also like having a blast.
It's like the Olympic Village of piping and drumming.
I know.
Kinda.
Just everybody's fucking everybody.
I was gonna say it's like Comic-Con only in Kansas City.
So they hand out free condoms, right? That's very important.
Yeah, that would be a good thing for the suggestion box for Winter Storm.
Free Winter Storm branded condoms.
Is there LSD and Grateful Dead? And
granted, if Fusco wore one, it would only get to Wint. You wouldn't be able to read the whole name of the event.
What are those little tacos in a tube that you get from the 7-Eleven? What are those things called?
Taquitos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the Winter Storm version of LSD, I think. They have to stock up on those things when the pipers come to town.
So how did that thing become so friggin' successful? Because who wants to fly to goddamn Kansas City in the middle of January? I mean, is it just the judges' draw that pulled that made that happen? I mean, how did that become so popular? It took a while, but
I think that'd be a great show for you guys to do. I could not do the history of the event justice, but talk about people doing really good things in American piping. Get Beth or Cliff or Kresge or one of those guys on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd that'd be a great discussion.
That way we could.
have.
I mean, we were trying to plan one out here, but Desert Storm didn't really mix too well with our audience.
Yeah, some people took offense to us,
and the URL was already taken.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We were going to do our Chanter Rant Invitational inside Sapphire.
It's the strip club.
Yeah, the strip club.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, man.
So
there it is. I mean, you have it all you have it all figured out. Like, I mean, if there's a solution to the American pipe band dilemma, it's that there aren't any contests in strip clubs. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome, America. Chanter Rant just fixed yet another global pipe band problem.
Here we go, solving the problems.
Solving the problems of the world, one episode at a time, Fusco.
I love it.
By episode 100, we'll have nothing left to talk about, aside from how great everything is. We'll have to change the name of the show.
And then we can retire, and Grace No Vortex can...
Grace No Vortex should be putting out episode 9 by then, I think. By episode 100 of the Chanter Rant podcast.
Yeah, they'll get there.
Yeah, they'll get there.
They're very cute.
So backing up a bit. So we kind of glossed over when Andrew asked us the question of what do you think is the why do we need pipe band associations? And you and I both immediately responded.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.